when it comes to price gouging, I have zero tolerance for price gouging.
Because it sounds like what you're saying, dog, is that in an emergency, it's better for rich people to be able to get stuff all the time than for poor people to get it ever.
Over the past several days, we've been inundated with messages from you, our viewers, about price gouging at local stores, including one store we actually featured last night on the Night Beat. But how widespread is the problem of price gouging?
Whenever an earthquake, hurricane, virus outbreak, or some other disaster hits, politicians and cronies never hesitate to call out predatory businesses who unfairly take advantage of the disaster by price gouging their innocent customers. But what exactly is price gouging? What causes it? And does government make the problem better or worse by passing laws against it? Stay tuned to find out.
I'll tell you what we're doing. We're bringing this to cabinet, and we're going to put an order that is going to be legal for price gouging. So anyone, when we have so many great companies, vast majority of companies around this province, around this country are trying to help people out, people would have the nerve to actually jack up their prices to $30 a container for hand wipes. It's beyond belief. It's absolutely beyond belief. But a message to anyone who price gouges: we're coming after you. We're going to come after you hard. I'm going to protect the people of this province. And the price gouging, we're going to put this order through cabinet, and they're done. They're going to be gone. Nothing gets me more furious than someone taking advantage and price gouging the public that are in desperate need of these items.
At first glance, the words of leaders like Ontario Premier Doug Ford may make a lot of sense. Disasters like the outbreak of COVID-19 have left hundreds of thousands of people ill. Meanwhile, governments across the world have forced businesses to close, leading to massive layoffs. In such times of danger and uncertainty, only a truly evil person would try to profit off of everyone else's misfortune by raising the prices of food and medical supplies that they desperately need. Such a greedy action ensures that the poor will go without the necessities of life, while the rich will hoard all the goods and services to themselves. However, as is the case with all government policies touted as measures to protect the poor and needy, these policies actually benefit the rich and politically connected, while disproportionately harming the very people they were supposed to help. To understand why, let's ignore the prices of those goods and services that soar in times of crisis, and instead look at the prices of those that drop dramatically. It may be true that the prices of hand sanitizer, groceries, and toilet paper have risen in the wake of disasters like the COVID-19 epidemic, but other industries have suffered. Airline ticket prices, movie ticket prices, and the prices of other leisure-based activities have plummeted to record lows. This means layoffs for workers in those industries. Yet the media is not filled with outrage about greedy travelers and greedy moviegoers who are cheating flight attendants and theater workers out of their jobs and income by agreeing to pay these ridiculously low prices. When you take the focus off what prices have risen and move it onto what prices have fallen, it becomes immediately clear that what has caused the changes in both prices are not changes in employer greed, but changes in consumer demand. When media outlets spread fear about the danger of infectious diseases and governments order citizens to stay home and businesses to close, it's no surprise that fewer people are interested in taking vacations or going to the movies. With less demand for these activities, these industries can either lower prices and hope that it brings business back to an acceptable level, or simply close down. On the other hand, when people realize that government-mandated business closures could mean supply shortages and layoffs, it's no surprise that they try to prepare for such an uncertain future by stocking up on necessities like non-perishable foods and other commodities. As more people seek to buy from a limited supply, businesses are forced to either raise prices to compensate for the increased demand, or simply allow their entire stock to be bought up by those that arrive at the store first. But that's exploitive, the objector cries. People really do need those necessities, and jacking the prices up just ensures that only the wealthiest will be able to buy them. But is this true? Are prices really rising to a level where only those at the highest income brackets can afford them? Or are they simply rising to a level that disincentivizes buying in large quantities? If toilet paper is selling for $10 a package, a single man living in a one-bedroom apartment may see no downside to purchasing 5 packages, so as to be sure he will have enough for a long period of time. But if the same package sells for $50, he's far more likely to buy only 1 package, or to buy a smaller package, ensuring that there will still be toilet paper on the shelf when a man with a family of 5 children arrives at the store. If a business truly wanted to ensure that only the wealthiest in society could afford to buy toilet paper, they could set the price of toilet paper to $1,000 or even $10,000 a package. If, however, the price is kept artificially low through laws against price gouging, people, particularly those that already have large quantities of money, are directly incentivized to hoard items that are currently in high demand, buying more than they need. After all, if the price is kept low and uncertainty is high, why not buy more than you need? Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. This may be true in principle, but what good is it for shoppers who make it to the store first to have far larger supplies than they truly need, while others have none of the supplies that they need? Is this not the sort of inequality that politicians are constantly promising to prevent? Of course, there is another solution that doesn't require businesses to price gouge, and that's direct rationing by government authorities.
Do you know how else you could stop hoarding without letting companies just jack up the prices as much as they see fit to keep poor people from buying the things that they need? Rationing. At my local Walmart, when toilet paper madness ran amok, they just limited each person to 1 package of toilet paper each. They didn't need to make the toilet paper cost $100. And if they did that, some rich jackoff could still buy it and sell it for $101.
Rationing might sound like a fair solution to allocating scarce resources during a crisis. But then again, it raises the follow-on question of how much of each resource does every person really need? 1 package of toilet paper may be enough for a single man living in a one-bedroom apartment, but it will hardly last a family of 5 for as long. How many eggs, gallons of milk, bread, hand sanitizer, and alcohol-based cleaning solutions does every person in society truly need? Or for that matter, how much do they really want? And how do government bureaucrats hope to find out quickly enough in the midst of a crisis? There is no government in the world that can possibly figure this out to any degree of accuracy, and even if they took the time to do so, by the time they finished, the needs of the people would have already changed. However fairer rationing may seem compared to rising prices, the former is far more likely to ensure that some families have far larger rations than they need, while others have far fewer. Higher prices directly incentivize people to buy only as much as they need and not to hoard. It also signals to producers where needs are greatest and directly incentivizes them to bring more resources to the region of greatest need. If the price of toilet paper is $100 in one city, but only $30 in another city, profit-seeking producers are far more likely to ship greater amounts of toilet paper to the first city, and they'll try to do it faster so as to profit while the price is still high. In fact, the more sharply the price of any good or service rises, the faster producers are likely to ramp up production and delivery of that good and service, which will in turn drive the price back down, making it more available to a larger number of people. Despite what they may tell you, the real reason politicians oppose price gouging is that it limits their ability to hoard resources for themselves and for their politically connected cronies. When prices are kept artificially low, the people most likely to hoard are the wealthy, who have far less to lose by buying larger quantities of the artificially low-priced goods. Further, as inventories run dry quickly due to the artificially low price, there is far more pressure for government to intervene, guaranteeing that politicians will then be able to seize the power to set aside as much of any resource as they'd like for their own personal use or for the use of their politically connected friends. However unpopular raising prices during times of crisis may be, it is in fact far more likely to ensure that the maximum number of people receive the goods and services that they need in a timely manner. Who really should be deciding what's most essential for you during a time of crisis? You or the government? And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Everyone, please take a moment to subscribe to my 2 cents on the BitTubers and BitChute platforms. YouTube has shown that it is no longer a viable platform for independent content creators, and we need to build a presence elsewhere before the inevitable censorship comes. The links to both profiles are available in the BitTubers tab on my website, my2centsvideos.com. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the bell to receive notifications so that you never miss an upload. And if you're a fan of my channel, please consider supporting me on Subscribestar, Bitbacker, or Patreon to receive special rewards. All links can be found in the About section of my website, my2centsvideos.com.